medawase na mabo mabaso.
Okay.
Nsem-Pii TV mosomo ye mafamu de boa media space no ene nsem a ebinum ante eche na mo de call YouTube ni ade a personally me follow mu pa to de be kura na voices ni bi a patete senkofo aka mahwa me hu no beba Nsem-Pii TV na e wo honom
Nsem-Pii TV nie
Honorable Sam George Ekache Ghana for say about DSTV charges. Our charge Ghana for a way below the bar is too much. And DSTV pool won pool. It was say or take a year charges no so. Now for on your money social media up and down. Me no ka say Sam George abeka Ghana for say tie na waso omonte so no manya nte so na emom se na 500cc na woto na ma 30 channels as say the my English channels no ko 60 and this na woto 200 series na onya 20 channels as say my English channels no eko bia 30 na we and o say unprecedented e bin see that me no ka say CEO of DSTV friend Kofi Capito ato to be a man Sam George say waka say unprecedented afei so kura ho kama nti say permanent and DSTV for say hey permanent e wo he na nsem ma o mato ama ne de abusafo o say 419 and Sam George e dey Ghana for yenko na yenko tie no.
So, I get upset when I hear the media talking about the minister saying that unprecedented. That word should not even come in at all. What is unprecedented about what he did? This guy has done S419.
Oh.
Which is the minister. Yes, let me tell you why.
I have your
His promise is going to get this reduction in the cost. The cost. Not the bouquet increase.
Mm-hmm.
The bouquet increase that he's talking about, DSTV does it anyway. It's called promotion. It's like somebody telling you, I'm selling something, buy one, get one free. Okay. The minister has shot his foot. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Because when you are too much exuberant, as the minister Sam George, this is what happens to you. Basically, this is the second time that he's telling us this thing. You remember when the data thing came? He promised us the same thing, then he told us that, he's bargaining for more data for us. Okay, this Crocodile the John thing that he does, he should stop. And he talks too much. He's not the only king in Ghana. He's not the only king in Ghana. Look, you're talking about stakeholders. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who the stakeholders are or where? From my church, it's NCA. It's the minister himself and DSTV. You call that stakeholders. What about the consumers or the Ghanaians who have other institutions like Desmond's own and other people who could have argued better on behalf of consumers? This thing he should stop. He has goofed. He should not go around prancing himself as if he's done anything. Look, let me tell you what. The man tells you that whatever that he is giving you, it will end in 3 months.
Yes.
3 months old.
Yes.
So this is not a permanent, it's not a permanent thing. So is that what we're bargaining for? And then now he's talking about he's going to let the premium people enter into
a raffle.
A rifle. Has the minister become a lotto forecaster now? Has he become a lotto forecaster now?
Kofi, this is a minister fighting for the people, fighting for.
He's not fighting.
People.
No, he didn't fight for us. what he promised he will fight for us is the reduction value for money, which is the cash aspect. Look, what if I don't even need those extra contents? I don't need it. I just want to have what I have, but I want to reduce. And that is what he promised us. Nobody asked the minister to come up and tell us that he's going to get. He even threatened to take the license away from multi-choice. I said in the beginning, he has no power to take the license, because as long as DSTV hasn't actually gone contrary to the terms of agreement that they signed, you can't do that. And it's even dangerous for foreign investment that government would intervene. Look, I said that in various platforms that it would have been a lot easier. Let the customers or the consumers agitate and have a discussion with DSTV and tell DSTV that if you do not reduce, we will switch it off in protest or boycott your services, period. That is what business, a business that understands would say, oh, let me listen to my customers. The minister should have been the last person to get into this thing. You have a regulator, NCA. Why didn't you allow NCA to do it? So the minister himself, I'm blaming the minister because he didn't get what he promised Ghanaians.
So you are blaming him?
Yes, I'm blaming him. And you take the blame, he shouldn't come and tell us that, unprecedented, it hasn't happened anywhere before. Does he know how many promotions goes out among business people? I mean, among businesses and their customers? Does he know that? Even the airline does promotion. The airlines, the car manufacturers, they do promotions. Any sensible business will do promotion.
And a senior policy analyst also. So, Desmond, you have been speaking on consumer issues and reduction and so on and so forth. The minister says this is unprecedented achievement. How would you describe it?
Unprecedented. Well, let's look at it this way. The minister set out with a specific agenda, and I followed these matters so well such that I don't think I'm missing the facts. He told us specifically that he was going to get price reduction.
Yes.
There's been the argument that even DSTV as a service is not, if you like, an essential goods. So people who are subscribing on are literally buying additional luxury. But the question is this: the minister and the regulator has the power under the law to do what we call consumer protection. They couldn't do price, if you like, price control regime, because that's not our business model. So he had the power to do consumer protection. So it makes sense for any expert, any analyst to then say that the price reduction he's soughting to achieve is to clear price discrimination. He went further to also give us grounds for which he wants to deal with price discrimination, part of which was the fact that pricing in other regional stations were kind of disparate. So this is my position. What he brought us now is a total deviation. It gets away from his original mandate, which was to push for an overt price reduction and also to bring a transparent tariff regime, which would help us to hold on to it. Now, the regulatory effect for price reduction is not the same as value upgrade. And I just saw your sister station making some news article out of my earlier comments with Kofi earlier in the day. And people are taking on the fact that value upgrade is the same as price reduction. No, please, it is not. We are having a policy conversation. The nature of a price reduction deals with a downward adjustment of the tariff, which is payable by the subscribers. It has nothing to do with value upgrade, which essentially is addition of some high tier service or content. And if you like, people who are maintaining the existing tariffs are the ones going to enjoy it. And maintaining the existing tariff. What happened to the price reduction? You see, we need to assess issues critically. I have already agreed with Kofi's sentiments and emotives because of the same reasons he gave, which I support. The minister set himself on this path. So people will get angry if he doesn't achieve what he sought out to achieve. There is no clear tariff correction as we speak. No clear tariff correction. What has happened is to a non-tariff concession in the sense, but it doesn't alter the base price. It doesn't, and it doesn't help in the affordability issue anyways. How is the affordability changed?
But that's one.
One of the points Kofi made earlier.
There's some level of achievement, or you don't agree? Some people would have wished they were on the premium bouquet, but for the cost of the premium bouquet, they decide to stay on compact, or they wanted compact plus, but they decide to stay on compact because they can't afford. Now they will be able to afford. Maybe that is not what the minister promised or we were all looking for, but some progress there, or you don't think same?
No, I don't think so. See, first of all, even the gains we are talking of are regressive. In absolute terms, it is those on the higher that are even benefiting because the price differentiation is the same. It carries forward. So the distribution of the benefits itself is still stagnant. And to the extent that we are talking about people wanting to move, that's an assumption that, currently is not even founded. You don't even know if consumers want to move up that hill. But for that benefit does not even create a price reduction. It has absolutely nothing to do with price reduction at all. And look at it from a consumer utility point of view. When you do price reduction, they are tangible and they are guaranteed. The savings are direct on the household, regardless of what they watch.
So recently I saw somebody.
Now we are adopting and skewing to the service provider's position. And I hold a view that when you go into negotiations like this and you allow value added negotiations vis-a-vis price reduction negotiations, you are giving the negotiation strength to the service provider. The regulator really comes to the table with nothing. Because how does the regulator, for instance, check that these value additions are actually being, gained and benefited by the subscribers or consumers that he sought to protect by his initial positioning? And then I made a point about the equitable consideration, which goes back to this whole idea of, regressive gains. If you are doing the pricing, modeling the pricing reduction, which consumers are aligned to, which they were heavily in expectation of, you're literally going to, come up with a proper policy. That's what you're going to do. But if you went for value add, you are sticking to what the regime is, and then skewing the benefits to, if you like, mid and high tier groups, because you are literally moving them to another layer. I hold a very strong view of what price reduction is and what value added or value upgrade and service is. It is not me even saying it, but I think every policy person what is sought, every industry observer what is sought can gain from what a price reduction is and what a value added service is. I mean, another point I would like to add to this is,
yes,
we still have that policy risk which he sought to address, which is that he was going to reduce the price. Now, Kofi mentioned the 3-month cycle. The first question anybody on the negotiation table will ask is, what happens to subscribers after 3 months? Does the value revert? If the value reverts, then the initial policy risk of price reduction still subsists. So how do we celebrate this as a win?
Something which is,
for me, it's an entirely a promotional window. It's not a structural tariff reform. It's a promotional window. And the platform turned out to be the policymakers' platform to announce it. For me, it's neither here nor there. Indeed, I mean, if we don't want to mince words, that would actually be a pathetic positioning. The regulator is supposed to be clear on what they are looking for. I had advocated that if they went to that stakeholder meeting, because initially I was against his sole approach to doing these things. So I was for a stakeholder meeting. And if they had approached this stakeholder meeting from a transparent tariff formula approach, we will be having a much better conversation now, because consumers would even know whether or not they should be still asking for the price reduction, because the minister would have benefited us by telling us, this is the structure of the pricing. This is the reason why prices are quite high.
Yes,
and
yes.
if it's a tariff freeze we can benefit from, then that's fine.
That's one. You're a lawyer. You described the minister's positioning as pathetic. Did I get it right?
Yes, I did.
Well, but let me go on from there. I am rounding up before I go to Kofi, and then I come back to the studio. I have a minister in the studio, former Minister of Trade. So I'm going to be asking him about whether the action of the minister is an affront to investors or businesses, especially foreign investors who want to come in and do business here in Ghana. But let me ask you, first of all, what you think on that before I round up with you, and then I can go to Kofi and round up with him.
Right, good. So on the issue of pathetic, I'm clear about that position. First of all, the minister does not even have that direct regulatory authority. And we always mix up this issue about policy oversight and regulatory authority. Mm-hmm. If you were to sue an administrative agency, would you sue the minister? You would not. The framers of the law are clear on what the minister could do and what he could not do. And like I said, his position was on the consumer protection, which is good. But even the initial approach, he has to backtrack the initial approach. Those are the points I'm making. And when you proceeded to even achieve what you sought out to achieve, you couldn't. You come back with that to us with value upgrade. And that's where my position on being pathetic is. Concerning our trade positioning, we have huge trade inflows and outflows with South Africa. Mm-hmm. Anybody who tries to downplay this would be doing us a lot of disservice. Okay, business people are they are anticipatory beings. They look at what the regulatory policy environment is to take if you like expected steps